Hello my dear friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jane. I'm a life coach, a women's coach. On this channel, we speak a lot on how you can transform your life by doing inner work, by applying new strategies, new mindset shifts. Overall, how to come to happiness and fulfillment. Here I love to share my major transformations, my major realizations that has changed my own reality, my own life. As a result, I want to share them with others. We will be speaking on how to regulate your nervous system, tools, methods that has helped me regulate my nervous system. You attract what you are. You attract things into your life based on your vibration. If you're vibrating positively, if you're vibrating with love, with gratitude, with happiness, you attract similar synchronicities and opportunities into your life. You attract the right people, the right opportunities, you attract abundance, you attract love because you are the magnet. However, if you're living with and in the low vibrational states, constantly feeling fearful, doing things out of fear, doing things out of anger, storing so many negative emotions within you, there's no doubt that you will attract the mirror back to yourself. And there will be toxic people coming to your life to simply reflect you your own inner world. There will be stupid situations where you will be losing money, losing opportunities, failing, because it is simply programmed in your mind and in your state of being. Once I realized that my most beautiful quantum leaps in life were happening when I was regulating my nervous system and my vibration, I started digging deeper into this topic, finding tools, finding insights and the truth, how it is actually possible to live in that state constantly, permanently. And although it's a lot of inner work, it is possible. It is possible once you get out from certain limiting programs that exist in your body, in your mind, once you work with your beliefs, and most importantly, once you choose to exit the victim mode and be the creator, create your life. This is what I speak about in so many of my videos, and this was the major transformation I faced in my life when I realized that every outcome, everything that I see in my outer reality is the product of my choices. There's no one to blame for what I have. Even though I might have limiting programs and beliefs from my childhood that I took from my parents, from their behaviors, it's not their responsibility to live and create my life for myself. And once you realize that you're an adult and your decisions, your choices ultimately create your reality, you become so powerful. You take your power back. You realize that there's no one to blame for and that you have the ultimate power to be who you want to be and to create what you want to create, to live the life of your dreams, because it is in your hands. And although some situations that happen in our lives are unpredictable, because there is a divine power, there is the path that we need to go through. There are lessons that our soul came here to learn. It is very powerful to learn how to navigate these situations. Yes, sometimes you can't control what is happening to you, but you can control the way you perceive it, the way you react towards it, your reaction and your state of being that you choose to experience, even though something painful happens, something that you didn't expect happens. Because ultimately, these are all things that are making you stronger and making you come to the new level, your soul evolution. For a woman, since my channel is dedicated to women, a regulated nervous system is your key towards happy relationships, is your key towards your purpose, is your key to your beauty, to your glow, to your stunning body. Once I regulated my nervous system, now I am in my best shape. And if 5 years ago or 8 years ago, I was so unhappy with the way I look, I was constantly trying to lose weight, to eat less, to exercise like crazy. I did so many steps in order to get to that ideal body, but the truth and the key for that ideal body was regulating my nervous system, was releasing cortisol and working on my state of being, living with a feeling of peace, having that unshakable groundedness and peace. Once a woman embodies this, she becomes so powerful. Not only she is so attractive to men, because men are drawn to this calmness, this serenity, this peace. So many times I hear from men that are telling me, I feel so calm next to you, you're so calm. And I transfer them that state of being. And that feeling of calmness is the product of inner work, of course. Major point that has changed the way I feel and transformed my state of being. This is one of the major points that can truly bring you to your feminine energy. At some point in my life, I realized that I live in a constant tension, in a constant anxiety, waking every single day and straight after waking up, already feeling so anxious. I wanted to understand, what is this anxiety from? What is this chaos within me? What is the root of that? And my answer was that I was simply trying to control everything in my life. That illusionary control that brings anxiety into our life. When we are so afraid of the future, living every single day with those fearful thoughts of what might happen. And unfortunately, we cannot control anything, because you cannot control the future. The future does not exist. It only exists in your mind. Everything that you have is only the present moment. And those anxious state of being comes when you start creating fears, when you start creating fake scenarios of what might go wrong in your life. One of the major realizations for me was to shift my focus from the future towards the present moment. by grounding myself, by journaling, by doing meditations, by connecting with my body, reminding myself that all my fears are simply in my mind. They do not exist. Nothing has yet manifested. But my mind was constantly creating those negative scenarios. What if this would happen? What if this might happen? Until I realized that actually, yeah, whatever I think, whatever I fear, manifests itself. This spring, there was a major moment in my life where I actually saw the impact of my thoughts on my reality. I was in Dubai and there was a strong fear within me that I had all my life that was really connected to the survival. I was sharing this story in the previous videos. This fear came from the divorce of my parents and my dad leaving the household. When I was in Dubai, that fear became so strong because it was a new environment, it was a huge expansion for me, a huge quantum leap that I did when I moved to Dubai, when I started a new job. I tried a new job there when I was faced with new standards of living. And I couldn't understand why I feel so anxious every day, although everything is fine. Everything was okay. I had a good ground, I had friends, I had good people around me. Things started moving further. But within me, there was this strong feeling of anxiety. And the truth was that because I did a huge shift in my life and my rubber band really stretched, I came from point A to point B, where I wanted to be. I wanted to live in Dubai. And my nervous system was simply not ready for that move yet. And that's why my body started reacting with contraction, reacting with anxiety, reacting by giving me so many fears and anxious thoughts. And at the end, what has happened, because I didn't know what's happening to me, I couldn't understand why am I so anxious every single day, I manifested the worst scenario that I had in my mind. There was a moment where I was about to fly to Bali and they couldn't allow me to get into the plane because there were some issues with my documents, with my visa. And I was left in Dubai without a place to stay since my rent was finished. I was about to fly to Bali. And that moment was one of the major transformations I had in my life because I faced a huge crisis that was only in my mind. On the external, everything was fine. But my feeling of survival was so broken once my flight was cancelled. I couldn't leave Dubai. I had nothing planned. Where am I gonna stay? I was in the middle of the airport, not knowing where am I gonna stay today. And I remember I was sitting at the airport, so anxious. I couldn't even find my strength, my ground there. I was numb. I was like a vegetable because I was so absorbed by my fear. And that situation actually taught me so much. I became so much stronger after what has happened to me. And the major realization was for me to learn to release the control and to trust life. And this is the quality that every woman should embody. Because if you're not trusting, if you don't have a feeling of trust within yourself, towards life, that everything will be okay, that you are safe, that you are protected, then you will constantly live in stress. Then you will be waking up, and every little thing that happens unexpectedly in your life will be crushing your state of being and your nervous system. After that situation in Dubai, I had no other choice but to start trusting God. And although I believe in God, I believe in divine power, I believe that I'm always guided and everything happens for my highest good. Everything, all the crises, all the painful moments that I faced at the moment felt like this is terrible. And after some time, I was realizing that it was the major point and trampoline for my new self, for my new level, financially, in relationships, in my own feeling of self-love and sense of worth, and most importantly, in my state of being, in how strong I am as a woman, as a person, the strength of my soul. You cannot control the outside reality. The only thing you can control is your own state of being and your own reaction towards situations that happen in your life. Some situations come to teach you. Some situations give you powerful lesson. And maybe in the present moment, it may feel like your world has ended. Maybe when you are going through a breakup and you think that there's no life after that. You feel so much pain. You ask life, why is this happening to me? Why am I the one who needs to go through all of that pain? And you think that life is so unfair. But only after some time you realize how much you grew, how much you get closer to yourself, to your authenticity, to knowing who you truly are because of that pain, because of that breakup, because of that man leaving you or cheating on you, or maybe just that you and your partner realize that you need to go different directions. Even without the drama, a life becomes so much easier once you release the control. I even wrote it here. You cannot control the future, so let it go. Live in the present moment. This takes so much tension from your system, from your body already. You cannot really control what other people think of you. And this was also one of the major things that were creating tension in my life, in my body, so much stress, because for so many years, I was so afraid to be who I am, to be and live in my truth, in my authenticity. Because I thought, what if people would not like me? What if people would leave me? Until I realized that I'm living life for some other people that don't even care, while I'm missing something beautiful that I can experience once I tap into my truth, once I tap into my authenticity, into my dreams and goals. And doesn't matter at the end of the day. It is your life. I like this example very well because it is very motivating. Imagine that time flies and you woke up, you're 75 years old, and you lived all your life thinking what other people would think of you. Even though you had a vision, you had dreams, you had a list that you deeply wanted to create and manifest and experience in your life, you didn't do it because of the fear, because you were constantly trying to control how others would perceive you. And then you wake up when you are 70 and you cannot do this stuff anymore because you're old, you have different health and different levels of energy. And then you realize, who did I live this life for? Why did I waste so much precious time on thinking what other people are thinking of me? This is so powerful for me. When I think of that, it's always a powerful push to go and do that thing, even if I'm so scared, but I see it in my vision, but I want it, I envision it. And the only thing that really blocks me is my fear to do the step, maybe to expose myself, maybe to express myself, to show up. And once you realize that you may wake up at 70, and in order not to wake up feeling regret and experiencing that beautiful path of yours, following your higher self vision, you need to jump into the fear and release the control of what others would think of you. This frees up so much of your energy. You can't even imagine. Once you stop caring about that, you free the energy to create, to act, to make your desires come true. And this is so fucking freaking attractive when a woman or a man is authentic, who lives in their truth. Some people will come and go into your life. The attachment creates the control as well. Sometimes you deeply want someone to stay. You think that this is the person for you, or this friend, maybe not only about love, a friend, and you want to attach and you want to cling, but life shows you that you have different path with this person, and you are trying to basically fight with life by holding on to that attachment in your mind. The most powerful thing that I realized is to learn how to let go. How to let go of people, how to let go of situations that no longer serve me, that I see, maybe I think it is good for me, maybe I crave to have it in my life, but life shows me that there is something better. There is something more aligned that stays on my way. And in order for me to get to that thing, to get better, I need to let go of what I so hardly want to keep in my life. Although there are so many signs that show me that no, it's time to let go. It is a powerful tool. Unfortunately, life happens to let go with ease, to let go with love and gratitude, and not to push something that doesn't flow naturally, that doesn't flow in alignment. Something that is so hard is not always yours. And sometimes you need to realize that there is a better path awaiting you, but it can only open up once you release the old and let go of the old. Releasing control is a major point, but as you see, it is tied up to so many things in your life. And the woman that truly knows how to release control, to really embody and live in the present moment, greeting every day with gratitude and with trust that people who need to be in your life will be there, and those who need to leave will have to leave, and you will have to let go. Once you start living with the trust in the present moment and with that knowing, you regulate your nervous system and you become calm, you become so in your power and full of energy, full of life force energy, full of happiness, full of joy. The second important point that I would like to share with you on regulation, what has worked in my life, is and was creating a powerful routine for myself and healing that survival mode. In my private membership Inner Circle, I share with you a deep transformational story of how I was healing my survival mode and my Muladhara chakra, the chakra that is connected to our ability to feel safe in the body, to get healthy relationships with men and money. In order to regulate your nervous system, you must have some certainty. Usually we feel so much anxiety and fear because we are afraid of uncertainty. This is how our mind works and how we are conditioned. I realized at some point that in order for me to cultivate my feminine energy even more and activate it, I need a strong shield in my life. I need to create some structures that would allow me to feel safe, that would allow my feminine to flow even more. And feminine energy does not appear if there is no safety in your life, if there is no structure. It is called masculine shield. You create this masculine shield where the feminine can flow. If there is no shield, if there is no any sort of protection in your life, then you simply cannot relax because you live in the survival mode. If you want to regulate your nervous system and live in peace, create a vision for yourself. Where are you moving? What are your goals? What is your routine every single day? Having something, some activity during your everyday that grounds you, that gives your nervous system a feeling like, okay, we're doing this every day, and in this we can feel safe. It can even be your morning rituals, how you start your day, the journaling practice, the meditation, the sport that you attend, and you do it without skipping. So you are teaching your nervous system that you are safe and that there is some discipline, there is some stability, there is some structure. Because things would happen in your life unexpectedly, and you need to have some sort of stability. You create this stability with your body, with grounding routines that bring you back to your root. The final tip that has helped me to regulate my nervous system. I'm really sorry for this construction noise. Unfortunately, I cannot control this, but I'm sure we can still enjoy this powerful flow. The third tip, the third tool that has helped me a lot to regulate my nervous system, somatic practices, releasing all the stored emotions that I had within myself. I am in this path for many years. I'm a certified yoga teacher and a coach, And at some point, yoga really transformed my life, because from a place of anxiety, living in constant fear, not knowing what is my purpose, and overall not living in alignment and happiness, yoga brought me to my strength, my power, feeling of peace within me. Further, what I have discovered now is the somatic practices that is also very life changing and transforming. When we live our life and stressful situations happen, we take those situations and we store them in our body. So it can be different feelings, like feeling of grief when you broke up with the person you love, or feeling of pain, feeling of abandonment, feeling of shame or guilt. It is all stored within your body, and it blocks you from living your most aligned, happy life. This is what we all speak on chakra series as well. Each emotion blocks a certain chakra, and I share more closely how you can unblock each chakra and therefore activate a certain area of your life. Somatics, diving deep within your body and releasing those stored emotions, that stored pain, trauma that you still hold within your body, that tension that lives in your shoulders, in your heart, or in your belly. This is your path towards happy and peaceful life. Somatics includes work with your breath and work with your body. Through the practice, you're able to release those stored emotions that you had for so many years in your body that were preventing you from moving forward. And my also most beautiful transformations in life were happening once I was releasing a certain trauma. Once you release a certain trauma that holds the blockage within your body, you are jumping into the new level financially, in your love life, in your overall lifestyle, things that you attract, friends that you have, anything that you want to manifest. What blocks you from being there actually is the trauma, is a certain emotion, an emotion of guilt, an emotion of shame, an emotion of fear. All of those low vibrations that I've mentioned at the beginning of this video. Somatic practices are those tools that would help you regulate your nervous system on a daily basis. I do those practices every day, and I must say that right now I feel the most at peace and aligned within myself than I ever felt before. So this is my tool number 3. Learn about somatics. Go and try to practice. This would change your life. If you would like to experience this beautiful practice of emotional release, connect to your body on a deeper level, activate the new energy within yourself because you have released the trauma, I invite you to join my class that I do every single week. We do it online, and I provide a yoga/somatic experience where we are connecting to our body, where we are moving, where we are breathing, and releasing all the old energy and all the stored emotions that prevent you from being where you want to be. If you would like to sign up for this weekly somatic classes with me, I'm gonna leave my email in the description box for this video. Drop me a message and I will add you to the group. I hope this video inspired you to go and start applying these changes into your life. Realize that there's one life and you definitely want to live this life as your happiest, most peaceful and fulfilled self. I wish you feeling happy, healthy and at peace, most importantly. Thank you for being here and I'm gonna see you in my next video. Bye bye.